Hello everybody, Sneaky Chiefy here, bringing you another TAW tournament video. Today's video is featuring TAW member PoinDexter in blue, playing as the Chinese, and he's up against BBB, as I'll call him. 123456. I'll just call him B. He's up against B in red, playing as the Lithuanians. Now the tournament is called Juicy 45 Battlegrounds. It's a really interesting tournament, lots of custom maps, and the first one here is called Battlegrounds, where there's a bit sparse resources on the edge, enough to get you going, but ultimately you're forced to expand out and explore other parts of the map. And out in the middle, there's a lot of everything, including some goats, which looks like PoinDexter is looking for already, which is a good call. And then some, it looks like they might have changed how much stone is out there throughout the tournament. But anyway, PoinDexter is in the quarterfinals of this tournament, which is a best of 5. And if you want to take a look at the scoreboard, you'll see the results. This is obviously game 1, and PoinDexter playing as the Chinese for this. So I'm not too familiar with, I mean, it's very strong Civ. Not too familiar with the Chinese myself. I don't typically play as them. They obviously have some weird starts in that they start with 5 villagers, and their TC has a population of 10 instead of 5. So it's definitely a bit different. And they also don't start with any extra food. So it's typical to send a couple villas to build a quick house, but most of the other villas go to food right away. Um, the extra food income from the goats could be really helpful for the Chinese player to keep that TC running. It's unfortunate for Blue that he didn't have any. Well, there's one goat that he'll find. I was going to say it's unfortunate he didn't have any goats close by that he found right away, because that could have helped a lot with his start. You definitely don't want to have your TC idle, and you can see 45 seconds of idle TC already. That's probably from the very beginning of the game when there was no food to be had, and that's just it is what it is. 45 seconds is a lot in the early parts of the game for other civs, but for Chinese, it's kind of the way of the world. As we look at the population for both players, is about even. So PoinDexter's probably more rehearsed with the Chinese start, as I'll call it, than I am. Um, but other than that, it's a great civ. I mean, one of the best Arabia civs these days, according to the pros. Very flexible. Could go archers, could go cavalry. The Chukanu are obviously very strong. Lots of options for the Chinese. Lithuanians on the other side, great cavalry civ, one of the best around. Though maybe for this map, not the best choice, because there's only 3 relics on the map to be had. So even if he gets all 3, you're never going to get the Lithuanians at the full bonus. But Battlegrounds maps typically don't go to Imperial anyway. Another reason why maybe Franks would have been a better choice, because the Lithuanian Paladins are the best in the game once they're fully upgraded to Paladin with +4 from the relic bonus, but that's just impossible in this case with only 3 relics out on the field, and the opportunity to get to Imperial Age is rather low with this map. Not impossible, but I haven't seen many games on Battlegrounds that go that late. Looking at the locations, I see Blue's TC is rather close to the edge, and Red is not necessarily directly opposite. So you can see Red is like scoping out the opposite side of the map looking for Blue, and hasn't found him yet. We'll take a look at what Red has seen. He's like, where is Blue's base? He's looking all around where he suspects it should be based on where his location is. And Blue might be, I think Blue's just looking for more goats. Yeah, he hasn't started looking for Red yet. As we see Blue pulling in goats and pulling in an elephant from the edge of the map. He's better watch out. Oh, it's going to go down. Oh, that's a bummer. 1 villager down from Blue. And he's down 19 to 20 on the vill count. But yeah, back to the player locations. It's definitely better to be in the corner. There's a bigger chunk of wood in the corner. Like if we look at Red's wood line, it's only 3 or 4 deep on the edges, but on the corners it's much deeper. So I like Blue's position, even though his TC is closer to the edge there. He also has a nice safe gold and stone, but he will be forced, as I said, to expand. I guess his main gold is kind of exposed there, but the fact that he's in the corner gives him a lot of extra dependable wood income, as we see Blue collecting even more goats from the middle. PoinDexter very well rehearsed on this map. He's played very well so far. Obviously, he played well enough to get to the quarterfinals. As we see him going to gold already, and both players now up to feudal age with red about half a minute ahead. I suspect PoinDexter will go knights as the Chinese player. Looks like red might snipe these goats. And red now knows where blue is as well. Well, he'll get one of the two goats. Blue on the way back to maybe claim that goat. Just barely missing it. Just passing. And now we see blue walling off. Both players know where each other are. Barracks out already for red, as well as blue, who's got 4 militia on the way. A bit late for a drush. And we see a stable dropping down right away, so we might see some scout action from both players here. PoinDexter, if I remember correctly, enjoys his cavalry civs, so that's why I suspect that as Chinese he will have options, but he'll probably go for knights. And he sent those two to gold in order to make these militia, but he's sending them around a long way. He wants to keep this hidden, obviously, but you better get this guy moving if he hopes to keep it hidden, because the red scout is around. Red not making scouts himself, just getting them out on the field. Blue walled off one side, but still very exposed on the other, as we see an archery range coming in. So it will not be scouts, and maybe not even knights. Chinese player might go archers here. Interesting. I stand corrected. And now the blacksmith, as red has 3 scouts, including his starting out on the field. And blue looking to wall up. He probably will get his wall complete because it looks like red is not moving out anytime soon. And blue is doing the long loop around. Red very exposed, though he's quick walling in his lumber. And he'll just hide these guys in the TC. So this drush might not do too much, as blue has invested in men-at-arms. And now making a spearman for the anticipated scouts. That's the thing about the Lithuanians. Is there a hole there? I think there is. No, there's no hole there. That's the thing about the Lithuanians. It's pretty predictable that you're going to go cavalry. And blue did a great job walling off before the pressure came, and he's even got some spears to respond if needed. Blue scouting things out with his starting scout. And red maybe sending these back, realizing there's very little chance he'll break through. And maybe feeling that blue will come with some sort of military. I don't think red saw those men-at-arms. He's just maybe thinking like, well, if I have to do something. He is dropping on archery range right away too, so I don't know. Maybe he knows something about PoinDexter's play, that men-at-arms are typical, and this archery range will probably be skirmishers. He might be making this for skirmishers because he saw the archery range at home. If archers come out of this red, well, now he sees the pressure. Good fight for blue, though he did lose one of his men-at-arms. Yeah, he's making skirmishers to respond to the anticipated archer play by blue. I like to see some feudal action, so we'll see how far these two players take it. 3 men-at-arms still, and a hole! Oh no! Disaster for red, but he does plug it up. The scout's in, but those villagers should focus down the scout. Yep, so no one killed yet. Maybe not so disastrous for red. Who knows, maybe it was planned. Red's got a 3 villager lead at this point, as we see 3 minutes of idle TC for PoinDexter and only 1 minute of idle TC time for blue. 14 minutes of idle eco for red, however, and only 7 for blue. So red investing in yet more scouts. So, I'm wondering, PoinDexter's got very few food, but he's caught up in his vills here, 31 to 32, which is great. I'd expect blue to have more food because he's not making scouts, but He did make 2 spears. And he's got 10 on food instead of 13. Obviously, he wants more on wood for those archers, but I think 15 is a bit too much on wood, as we see a bit of a surplus from blue. And looks like the pressure is done for now. Blue will be annoying with these men-at-arms. Red scouts did absolutely nothing for him. Haven't pressured blue at all, as we see spears and archers coming forward. Now, archers mixed with men-at-arms and spears will devastate this wood line. And there won't be much of skirmishers is the play, but there's only 1 archer and 1 skirmisher for red. Lithuanians do have faster moving skirmishers, and red is walling up and mining gold now. And his starting gold, red is rather exposed too. So these archers could get a few kills here. What blue really wants to do and should do is try to get back in here, because all these exposed villagers here, 13 at risk. I like that he's denying gold though. So at this point, it's like, do you try to get some kills and deny wood? Or do you sit tight here and deny gold? I don't know. It's probably no wrong answer. Good job from red to wall off towards the TC, and that TC does a great work, though that's a very weak villager. Blue looks to dive. Use the archers, blue, pick it off. There's 1 kill. First kill of the game, well, first eco kill of the game. Good job, PoinDexter, on that one. Scouts going down too, because of the spearmen there. And red feeling the pressure, that's for sure, though blue is losing his men-at-arms 1 at a time here. Love the feudal action. These skirmishers will be very annoying. So let's see what the unit control is like. Blue trying to focus down a villager. Will he get another? Nope. Good micro from red to focus on these archers. There's a lot of weak villagers for red though. And red's got a lot of skirmish. He's invested a lot in this defense. There's a hole here. Oh, if there's men-at-arms were still alive. As it is, these red villagers can fight back, fletching in, but not padded archer armor. So blue just basically causing, he won't get any kills here, but causing a ruckus. A lot of wounded villagers for red now. Take a look at the populations, 38 to 42. So red, despite having the pressure, has continued to keep his population growing. He's got 15 on food, now 10 on gold. PoinDexter selling, as is BBB, selling a lot of wood and buying food. So both abusing the market to try to get up to Castle Age. Blue is able to click it. Red is still short of food. Despite having a stronger eco, blue is on his way to Castle Age. Padded archer armor coming in. So, and a bunch of archers being made as well back home. No second archery range yet. Looks like it'll be straight archers for the Chinese player. A bit of a gambit though. Lithuanians do have the answers in faster moving skirms and the potentially very strong knights. So we'll see how blue can do it. If blue can put pressure early and keep his archer mass alive in this early going, he should have a good advantage. And certainly those archers can claim the map control early on while those knight numbers are low. The question is, who expands out first? It's a bit risky. You want to expand, you need to expand, but you need to do so, you need to be very judgmental about how you do it. And here we see skirmishers are just so ineffective at killing villagers. No damage whatsoever. If these were archers, that would have been 1 villager dead already for sure. Oh, that's a poor scout control there. Blue is okay with that pressure, I think. As we see on yet another stable here, the second for red. And 8 archers coming in, +1/+1. Castle Age now. Bodkin and crossbow on the way. Red quickly runs home as he sees this pressure and sees that Castle Age is clicked. Red lucked out, but blue did deny the stable. I'd like to see blue sit right here with his archers to deny this gold line. And as soon as these are crossbows, these are bodkin arrow crossbows, so hopefully snipe a vill or 2 here. And that's probably enough to deal with 7 skirmishers if you micro them well. And here we go. Blue is expanding. This is a good spot. Lots of hunt. some berries, gold, and wood, so everything you really need to be happy camper. Blue continue to look for villager kills. He'll get one there. Great job. We'll see if red goes for elite skirmisher. He's making knights right away. And red will be happy to trade for even numbers, but blue doing a great job microing down those skirmishers. And if you're blue, you want to fight this before, yeah, not even fletching, no defense on these skirmishers either. So fighting this immediately is in blue's favor. But the knight is a different story. These also don't have upgrades. No, okay, it's got scale barding army, so it's a good choice to go with scale barding armor. If blue can keep engagements in this fashion, as we see maybe another snipe. Great shot. 44 to 45 now is the population. Red's moved out to this gold mine and lots of weak vills there. The knight's retreating, not enough, quite enough to deal with this, though it looks like he'll dive. Blue will want to take this engagement back as reinforcements do come in. At least blue sees all these villagers here, but he can't shoot the villagers while these knights are on the field. Red sensing that his knights are not quite where they need to be, and this is the kind of fights that blue needs. I like the scout archer here. Blue needs to make sure he's fighting while the knight numbers are low. He needs to keep his crossbows alive and his numbers up. It's still just, okay, 2 ranges now, though production has slowed. Blue has taken the lead on the population as he's built his second TC first and continues to snipe Vill here and there. Good job. Good micro. Get off the hill. Still no forging in for red. We see bloodlines. Okay. Does that mean we're going to see cav archers? Or knights from blue? He's still making crossbows. Okay, camels. I love it. I forgot the Chinese get camels. How could I forget? So camels and archers are expensive, but it's the perfect mix for skirmishers and knights. I'd like to see a bit more numbers from blue in a ball there with the archers. Going in with 7 at a time is not quite ideal. This town center is interesting too. I don't know about how I feel about that. I would have put one back here instead and finished the wall off this way, but I also played in this tournament and got knocked out, so who am I to say what's right and wrong? Although I do think that blue needs to focus more on keeping his archers together and not walking in groups of 7. You want to get maybe 14 archers, enough to one-shot these knights, or at least make sure that it's 2 shots. As it was like 2 or 3 shots with 7 or 8 archers to get the job done. Town watch for blue, 61 to 55 as PoinDexter continues to grow his population lead. More archery ranges coming in. Bloodlines research simply for the camels. Great move. He's also getting scale barding armor. He also has scale barding armor and now getting chain barding armor. So prioritizing the defense on these camels. And a great raid here from PoinDexter. At least 2 villagers, if not more. There's only 4 knights. Cannot engage with this many crossbows and camels combined. Red will need to make sure he doesn't walk under the TC fire, or blue will need to make sure he doesn't walk under the TC fire. And I'd expect blue to get a university here with ballistics anytime now. Chinese get cheaper research, so ballistics is a much cheaper tech with the Chinese. Red doing a good job expanding to the corner as you see Red's woodline getting depleted. And I should say this is a great TC placement for Red as well because it had the wood, berries, gold, and even some stone. And now we see monks coming out for Red to try to counter these camels, and he gets 1 quick conversion. Great play from Red to do that. Something that blue might even do too is get monks defense against these knights. These crossbows continue to be very effective though, picking vills off, and 70 to 61 is the villager count. But I should say BBB is on his way to getting a castle. He's been mining stone this whole time. He's got 590. Blue taking out the ostrich. It's the emo war all over again. This mass is scary, though. Red can't engage with this number of cavalry. Though now we have scorpions on the field, so that's a different story. Blue will be wary of those scorpions. Blue is just doing a great job microing this archer army, though. Really is. Wasting these camels up here, though. If they'd been in the fight this whole time, it could have been different. Using houses for visibility and map control, really. Not a bad play. Blue on 3 TCs, red on 2, as we see some poor unit management from red here. And blue will take this fight on the hill. He will be very scared of those scorpions, though, but red losing all his knights. So now it's just scorpions, and that's where the camels can come into play. I like that blue has split up his army. That's a lot of weak archers, though. Split up his army in order to get raids in, while red is focused on one side. He'll move in on the other. 1, 2, 3, 4 villagers already, 5 villagers. No reaction from red yet, as red was focused on his monks. Blue looking to snipe some scorpions. It's a great play from these camels, and the raid continues. How many vills was this? That was a lot. I should have taken a look, but at least 10. Great job from blue, keeping red's focus everywhere. And red just calls it. He's had enough. I think maybe looking at the score, a 2,000 score lead for blue, reflected in a 30 villager lead after this great raid on the gold. And red never really got those knight numbers up to a place where they could be effective, and he couldn't get his upgrades either. Blue did a great job keeping the pressure on. And like I said, splitting his army, making red's focus shift, and booming the whole time behind it. So very well played by PoinDexter, clearly showing why he belongs in the upper tiers of this tournament. That was game 1. It's a best of 5 series, so I'm hoping for a good series. I'm obviously rooting for my boy and Tom PoinDexter, but I would not be sad if it goes to a game 5 because we all want to see some great Age of Empires. Come join me for game 2, and thanks for watching. Sneaky Chiefy signing out.